What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Knives of the Round Table. My name is Marco, and today we're going to be taking a look at Rick Hinderer knives. But we're going to be taking, and you can tell by the title of this video, at some of the more unique versions of the knives that he makes. Rick Hinderer, the XM18 comes in a very large variety of options, and I'm going to link my review of the XM18, and you can see a lot of the options you see there in colors and grinds and thicknesses and all kinds of stuff. But I wanted to take a little bit more time into some of his more special editions, and the ones that you see here, all of them I've made my own. I've customized it. I've customized them with Rick Hinderer original hardware and scales and those kinds of things. So what you see here is these two knives have been, I guess, upgraded to a titanium scale with horsehead. Okay, that's one of the things that you can do. And the reason I did that for this one, I don't know if you notice, you see that right there? Well, this one happens to be one of his customs. Okay, and this one, it's one of his productions, and it's actually a tri-way, but it's what it's called a containment series. So I'm gonna lay it out this way so you can see it. So every year, I don't know exactly when it started. I want to say maybe 2016 or thereabouts. At least the oldest I've seen is 2016. He comes up with knives that are part of what he calls his containment series. That's what the CS stands for. And sometimes it's the XM18 3.5 inch, which is what you see here. Sometimes it's the 3-inch version of the knife. And I've never seen two alike. I don't have direct line to Rick Hinderer or anything. So I can't say with absolute certainty, but I don't think any two are alike. I haven't seen two that are identical. So I was fortunate enough to get this one in the secondary market. I tracked down the owner of this one, and I offered to buy it from him if he ever wanted to sell it. And months later, he came back and said, "Hey, I'm willing to sell it." So I bought this one, and it's very hard to find, very hard to get. So that's the containment series, and this is one of his customs, and you can tell the customs because hopefully you can see the grind. You see the grind lines, the kind of bell satin finish that he's done here, the hollow grind. So those things you do not get in the standard version. Most of the times you get either flat grind stone wash like this, or a flat grind. What he calls his working finish, which is kind of like a matte, like a matte finish on the steel. But let me tell you why these are kind of unique. So for me, the containment series, I don't know how many he makes. It's kind of a moving target, but I want to say it's probably about 5 or 10 per year at most. So if the containment series is 20, there's probably not very many of them out there. And I really wanted this one because, for me, 2020 will always be the year of COVID, right? COVID was everywhere. It was everybody was talking about. It was in everybody's mind. And the fact that I got the containment series 20, with the biohazard and the mask and the guy that I bought it from even had this really cool bead that kind of matches the engraving. So that's what the containment series are. They usually have some kind of a masked biohazard type motive. And what I did is I found the handle nuts, and actually I didn't find the handle nuts. Somebody actually they contacted me and told me that they had some, that if I wanted to have them, and the Rick Hinderer community is just awesome for those kinds of things. I can't tell you how many times people have just given me stuff just because it'll improve my build. I bought the filler tab, the 2020 COVID filler tab that is painted, but the painting kind of matches the rest of the blue and bronze that you see here. So what you have is the knife came, it didn't come with that pocket clip, it didn't come with that filler tab, it didn't come with those handle nuts, and it actually came with a glow in the dark scale. Now when you put it as a glow in the dark scale, and you charge it and you take a picture in the dark, it looks incredible. But it's something that I rarely see and rarely use, because the knife, when I carry it, it lives in my pocket so it doesn't get sun, and when I take it out, it's not charged. So all I ever see is just kind of that, you know, jade or very muted jade, kind of whitish scale. So I don't use that scale. I use that, I got a titanium scale, and I tried to get it modified to kind of match the blue and bronze flecks. It wasn't quite a match. You can see the difference between this one and this one, but it was close enough. So I modified it, and these knives, oh, the one thing that is not Rick Hinderer are these screws. Those are by TI Connector. I don't like the original screws that come with the filler tab and the clip. They are just dome head Phillips screws that are just silver in color. So I wanted to get something that matched my knife a little better. But that's the only thing that is not original Rick Hinderer in this knife. So these are, they're kind of hard to get, and because they're only through the Rick Hinderer website, and I haven't received any notification that they're up. And when they're up, you know, there's 2, maybe 3 of them at a time whenever they drop, and they're gone instantly. They're gone. It's very hard to get them. Maybe you get them on the secondary market, but people who get these usually they're usually for keeps. I can tell you, for me, you know, out of my collection, I probably have 60 or 70 knives or something like that, and this has to be in the top 5 knives that I would never get rid of, because it's so hard to replace, or it'd be kind of damn near impossible to replace that one. Now let's talk about the custom. So this one, so my favorite grind in the Rick Hinderer lineup is the Skinner. So I managed to snag a Skinner from Knife Crazy. He has a YouTube channel. He does a lot of sharpening videos. So if you want to learn how to sharpen, he has like a bunch of different tutorials on different sharpening systems, you know, the KME, the Hapstone, you know, a bunch. So I learned how to sharpen from his videos. And you know, at some point he had 3 of Rick Hinderer's customs, and he had 2 of the Skinners. So I bought this one from him, and what I did is I added the scale. I changed the hardware. It came with a green G10 scale, and then I put a green micarta scale, and that looked actually pretty darn good. And then I changed to the all titanium look. Now this one has been further. I don't know how many of you are Rick Hinderer connoisseurs, but here what you see is one of the things that you can do with Rick Hinderer is get a customized pocket clips, and they're all original Rick Hinderer pocket clips. This one is, and this one is what's called a Crusader clip, and it's by a company called Steel Flame. Now Steel Flame did like a run of this type of clip, and there's ones that are silver, gold, there's one with a larger shield, there's different colors, and they did a run. And so this one, I'll show you the filler tab, and hopefully, yeah, there. So it's also a Crusader filler tab right there. And these things are extremely rare and very hard to come by and very, very, very expensive. And it was strange because this one I actually managed, the only way that I managed to get this one is from a person who really didn't know what they have, because on eBay they were selling a half track, and it was an all titanium half track, which is probably worth around it was a previous generation, probably about $400 or thereabouts, just around there, the knife itself. But it had this pocket clip on it, and I think the person just looked at the price of the half track, and he put the buy it now price was $350. Probably the pocket clip is worth $350. They're very, very hard to find. They're very, very, very expensive. But I managed to get both the knife and the pocket clip for about $350. So that's kind of, I don't think that I would have spent the money to buy the Crusader clip if I didn't get it that way. So I was kind of lucky enough to be able to do that. Now, as far as the knife, I haven't seen any customs with the tri-way pivot system. So the tri-way pivot, and hopefully by this time you guys know, but you see there the three circles and interconnected. So that means that in this knife you can choose to have bearings, phosphor bronze washers, or Teflon washers. This is a previous generation, and you can see it doesn't have the tri-way symbol. So this one, for example, doesn't have a lock bar insert. It's just a hardened titanium face, a carbonized face. And this one doesn't have, you cannot do bearings. You can do phosphor bronze washers, which is what this one's running on. But it originally came with Teflon washers. But what you get with the customs is just an unbelievable quality of blade and grind, which Rick Hinderer ground himself. So these are full customs by Rick Hinderer. He makes them. It's all done by his hand. But what you get is this beautiful hollow grind, which hopefully is coming across here. You got this beautiful swedge. You got the feel of the spine is just very, very unique. And so these knives, these is basically kind of the top of the line Hinderer that you can get. In his customs, he makes grinds that you will never see on the production sides. There's some very aggressive. There's one that's called the Aggressor, which is kind of like a, it has a grind, but it has a kind of a compound grind. You have Hellfire blades. You have, and actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to link Kniggt's YouTube channel. He doesn't have a huge YouTube channel. It's a small channel, but his collection of Rick Hinderer knives is probably one of the best collections out there. My collection just it's puny compared to his. But his customs, they're very rare, because I don't know if he's still making them, in all honesty. Probably so, but I haven't seen a tri-way custom of Rick Hinderer. So not in the latest generation, and not that they don't exist, it's just that I haven't seen them, and I'm kind of active on the Rick Hinderer forums. But if you want to get one of these, also it's searching, joining the groups, looking at the secondary market, find out who has them, ask them if you can buy some from them, because people who get them are usually people who like Rick Hinderer knives quite a bit and want to have kind of their top of the line, and that's kind of where I ended up having this one, because the Skinner grind is my favorite grind, so I decided that's the one that I wanted to have as a custom. So that's what these are. Now, These are both over $1,000. They're both worth over $1,000. So if you're just looking to kind of dabble in Rick Hinderer, this is not your arena. You want to start with just a regular production, which is probably about $425 or thereabouts. And you can have kind of this knife without the containment series engraving, for about that price. And if you enjoy that, then you can start getting into the pocket clips and the hardware and the filler tabs. And the filler tab is a whole deal with Rick Hinderer. These they go for $200 or more depending on the filler tab. And then you start getting into the scales, right? This is a horse head that's just been stone washed, but there's textured horse heads. There's been a monkey edge frag pattern scale that has the squares and the horse head, which is awesome. I have one of those for my 3-inch. So if you start getting to Rick Hinderer, you start progressing from the production, from customizing your production, from finding special editions. So this is one of the special editions. There's also one that's called the Battlefield Pickup, and those are a little bit more abundant, but they're usually kind of bronze, but they have like these kind of scratches and marks and burn marks and stuff like that come from, originally it's part of the finish, but they look like they was a knife that was left on the battlefield, and grenades exploded on it, and then you got it. That's kind of what it is. So you progress from the production to customizing your knife to finding some of the special editions, and I think it's you get to this point, and that you can get to the Skinner. In the customs of Rick Hinderer, the Skinner is probably not one of the rarer ones. It's probably one of the more abundant ones, probably. And that's to say that there's, it's already a very small group, but in that group, this is probably the most abundant one. And then if you want to go one step above, it's getting into the rarer scales and the rarer grinds. But I think that that's the only step that you can take above this. So this is, very close to about as high as you can get in collecting Rick Hinderer knives. And I have a lot of friends. Knigget's probably one of them. And he collects only Rick Hinderer knives, and and his collection is amazing. And I do recommend that you go check out his channel if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. He doesn't publish many videos. He's not very active, but when he does publish, the stuff that comes out is just beautiful knives, just incredible knives. So I do recommend that you go see it. And that's kind of the pinnacle of where you can go with Rick Hinderer. So I know that people can spend their entire collection money, right, of their entire collecting life just collecting Rick Hinderer knives, or hardware, or grinds, or special editions. You can be very happy having different blade grinds, finishes, personalizing hardware, all of that stuff. The Rick Hinderer world, and especially the group of people in the Rick Hinderer groups, I think is second to none. I think that's the best group, because the motto of Rick Hinderer knives is make it your own, and everybody's trying to make it their own. So everybody's trying to collaborate with other people to help them do their builds. So guys, I wanted to kind of showcase some of the more unique Rick Hinderer knives that you can probably get. Again, there's probably a little bit above this, not much. You can get rarer grinds, but already the customs is probably right at the pinnacle of Rick Hinderer knives. And then the containment series is just a very cool, very limited edition series that he makes. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you've enjoyed hearing me ramble. If you did, then like and subscribe. Don't get notifications. Nobody likes to get more emails. You know where to find my content if you want to. And until I see you at the next one, take care.